Hey, what's up, Primo?
¿Qué pasó, primazo? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How's all of our Primo Nation doing?
Beautiful, beautiful.
Cool, man. So we got we got a really cool, or I think a really cool episode for everybody tonight. Um, so as everybody should know at this point, there's a movie coming out, Wakanda Forever. It's coming
Yeah,
out in kind of like 72 hours or so, somewhere around there. Premieres on
yeah.
Friday, but here on the West Coast, we get a really cool um, uh, thing that happens to us because of time. It comes out at midnight on the East Coast. Us here on the West Coast, we can see it 3 hours early. So we're really blessed that we get to see it
Nice.
a little bit before. We don't have to wait and stay up for midnight showing and all that good stuff. So it's pretty chill.
That's awesome.
Um,
Mm.
but yeah, we're gonna go see it. But hey, I almost forgot. Like we got to stick with tradition, Primo. I
Right.
we were getting into it really quick, but
So excited.
yeah. So our tradition here at Dos Primos, if you guys saw our previous show, is we always toast. We're toasting for all
Absolutely.
you listeners out there. We're toasting some tequila, and I have here the Rocks, Dwayne Johnson's tequila, Terramana. Shout out to the Rock.
Right.
Appreciate this
Yes,
is some
sir.
good stuff. And then
Yeah.
some of my favorite there, Primo. What do you got there?
I got some Herradura
Love it,
tequila.
man.
Blanco.
Love it, love
Yes,
it, love
sir.
it. Cool. So we're pouring ourselves a little shot here before and smelling tasty, just like what the Rock is cooking.
Oh, yeah. I haven't heard that one in ages.
Right? All right, Primo. Salud.
Salute.
Woo!
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Stuff, good stuff.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So, as I catch my breath, sorry.
Yeah, that one's burning, huh?
So like we were saying, Wakanda Forever, new movie coming out. We're going to talk about that tonight. But instead of talking about like the movie itself, what we really wanted to do this week, all you Primo Nation out there, is kind of deep dive into something that's happening in this movie that's really special in our
Huge.
opinion. Um,
Big. Big time.
there are Mexican actors in it,
Yes.
and not only Mexican actors, just kind of supporting roles or things like that, but we have Mexican actors now in the MCU that are superheroes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Real quick, background on the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, I'm a big fan, if as you will probably hear over the show. Um, but there is a Latina that plays in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and her character is America, and
Yeah.
she's a superhero and stuff like that, but she's not Mexican. So what we're talking about
Right.
tonight is there is Mexicans in the MCU. Now, another quick pause. There is also another Mexican in the MCU. The only thing is he's a sidekick.
Yes,
So
right. Yeah.
he's a sidekick, and he's the Ant-Man sidekick. And part of this subject tonight is talking about stereotypes. And
Yeah.
and this is so much in Hollywood for not just right now, but it's been this way for a long time. Is you have a Mexican person, and sometimes even a Latin person in general, and they're playing as either the help, they're playing as a field worker, they're playing as a narcos, they're
Yeah.
playing as a drug dealer,
Right.
and or they're playing as a villain, you know.
Right.
So that and like I said, in the MCU, we already have a Mexican in there, but he is playing a sidekick to Ant-Man, and not only
Right.
is he playing a sidekick to Ant-Man, but where did Ant-Man meet him? He met him in
In
jail.
prison, right? Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you met him in prison. So again,
Yeah.
stereotypes of a Mexican.
Right.
Met this homie in prison, and then now we're homies. Now we got out of prison, and then we're gonna do some
Right.
stuff. I mean, it's cool because they're trying to go legit, but
Right.
he's from prison, stereotypical Mexican, and also he's a sidekick. He's not the superhero.
Right.
He's just supporting role, funny guys, comic relief,
Yeah.
which
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, and I really appreciate that role, and it's cool that there's Mexican in the MCU, but we just don't have representation, man. We don't have representation. So that's why, drum roll, I'm horrible at drum rolling. Now we have a hero. And not only one hero, but several heroes in the MCU, at least dramatic effect, we hope. And that's what we want to talk about here just a little bit later on in this episode, kind of talking about the dynamics of it. But first, let's go into the characters. Let's go into the actors and who they are. So I know I'm kind of dominating this part of the show real quick, but definitely Shesho, cut in whenever you want. And also, we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna discuss this. But I'm the one that did a bit of research here, or at least my counterpart did the research for me. So I appreciate that. And so one of the actors, I'm gonna go from somebody that we don't know yet, or at least I didn't know yet. And I'm probably going to butcher his name because, again, I'm just now learning Spanish for all you listeners out there. And it's spelled Josue. So I'm figuring it's Josue. 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 And then last name Maychi. Mechi. Maychi. Sorry. CHA. Maichi. Maychi. So, anywho.
Maichi.
Yeah. So, but he was born in 1988, and I personally, I looked, but they're not saying what character he's playing yet, but we know he's in the show. He's been on all the red carpet stuff that's rolled out so far, but he is from Mexico. He's actually from Mexico City, or not originally. I apologize, not originally from Mexico City, but he went to school. He graduated in Mexico City with a degree in administration, and he began work in a play, actually, The Corn Mill, which focuses on Mayan women. And so his ethnicity, I guess you could say, is Mayan. He's Mayan, and he actually is a native speaker of the Mayan language, which I think is that's really cool, right?
That's awesome. You can't find that anymore, man. Dialect like that, so old.
It's kind of a dying language, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So really, really cool that not only he speaks it, but in my opinion, that he is continuing to kind of keep that tradition of he learned it and he's continuing to speak it. And I think that was a huge noteworthy thing about Josue. So he hasn't done much yet. His first film was in 2021, and it was titled Presencias.
Presencias.
Thank you.
Yep,
Appreciate that, Primo. So he did that. It wasn't really a big box office hit or anything like that in Mexico or anything, but I mean he's been in films. But obviously, Marvel took note of him. That they discovered him, and he's something. But
Okay.
I think the biggest note on him to keep in mind is kind of what was noteworthy of him, the way, at least what I'm finding, that again, there's not much on him, but the way that they found him was he's been on this kind of tour with a group, and what they do, and they're doing a play. They do plays around the world. They
Hmm.
do plays, and they are teaching people through the plays about the Mayan culture. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I think that's really not only pretty awesome that he's traveled the world. He's already a world traveler, but in addition to
Right.
that, he was a part of this group that is teaching the world about the Mayan culture, which not a lot of the world knows it. I mean, even here in America, not a lot of people know
Right.
about the culture. So just that education alone is, in my personal opinion, huge. So huge shout out to him.
Right. Right.
That's really, really, really cool, and we appreciate that work that he was able to help the traveling troupe with. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
And with that said, I really look forward to seeing who he plays, how he plays this character, and what he brings to the MCU and just Wakanda Forever in general. So it's going to be cool to see what he brings to the table.
So
So
they haven't released at all what he might be doing. They haven't even hinted or nothing.
I know he's a part of the clan that we're going to talk
Okay.
about, the
Okay.
Aztecan clan,
Oh,
the
okay.
Atlantis clan. I know
Right.
he's a part of that group, and I don't know exactly what role, but my assumption is that he's like the brother or like cousin or something like that
Gotcha.
to next person we're talking about, and the character is Namora, um, and
Gotcha.
it's played by Mabel Cadena. So, and again, I hope I didn't mess that name up. Mabel, Mabel.
Sí.
Okay,
Maybe.
and
Yeah.
Cadena, Cadena.
Cardena.
Yeah, Cadena.
Okay.
So, she was born in 1990, so she's a little bit younger. But at the same time, same kind of thing. She actually has Aztecan roots. So we go
Oh,
from
okay.
the east coast of Mexico to now kind of like central, kind of semi west coast of Mexico in the Aztecan Empire, right?
Gotcha.
And so her origins of, because I mean, it was an Aztecan empire. It was huge, and there was many different aspects, peoples, uh, maybe even I don't know if I'm saying this term right, but tribes of the Aztecan community, the empire, and
Right.
she is of the Nahua origins, Nahua tribe, Nahua. Um,
Nawa.
Nawa. Okay,
Nawa. Yeah.
Nawa. So Nawa tribe, and she speaks the native tongue, the native language fluently. So again,
Wow.
you have these people that they are picking up for these characters, and they are indigenous, you
Right.
know, and I think that's insanely cool. That not only
Yeah.
does she speak Spanish, but she speaks her native tongue of her tribe, which is just a lot of that's being lost, and it's a shame that's being lost, but it is being lost. So, she has a bachelor's in psychology and a master's in education. So a highly,
Wow.
highly educated Mexicana, which is, I mean, awesome. She's not only bringing her
Right.
acting skills to the stage, but then also she is, coming in with just like incredible knowledge, just like Josue is. I mean,
Right.
these are highly educated people, and I think that's another noteworthy thing that we can unpack maybe later, or maybe for another episode of the mindset that Mexicans are kind of dumb or uneducated at the very least.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, exactly. Mexicans are highly
Not at
educated
all.
and extremely bright, and their origins are, unprecedented too. We're talking about two different pieces of our culture that were navigating the stars before a lot of Europeans were doing it, and building pyramids at the same time as the
Yeah.
Egyptians and stuff.
Right.
Our origins of our country of Mexico is deeply rooted in brilliance. Like, I mean, these are highly educated, brilliant peoples that we come from. But then here, the I hear all the time through news and stuff like that that people just don't understand how educated Mexicans really are, and how smart and brilliant they are too. So
Right.
here lies evidence in this amazing person playing this amazing character, that not only does she have a bachelor's in psychology, but again, she has a master's in education. Um,
Beautiful.
let's see here. Another noteworthy thing is she's been in acting for a while, and her parents kind of told her um, that they're worried for her going into acting because she is a darker toned Mexican. She's indigenous. And they told
Hmm.
her that she's always going to play these stereotype roles, even playing, being an actress in Mexico, playing the help, and she's a very athletic built woman, and so she's playing this character, or she's always going to be playing these characters of athletic built personas and stuff of that nature. And she kept with it, and she said, you know what, I'm going to keep playing it, and I might play these roles until I somebody recognizes me and puts me in a role that is bigger than that. And
Yeah.
here we are, kind of the eve of, before she debuts to the world, playing this
Got
huge character, Namora,
it.
and it's gonna be unbelievably awesome. She began her acting in HBO's Cappadocia, Capadocia, Cappadocia.
Cappadocia. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Cappadocia.
I haven't seen it yet, but now that I was doing all this research and stuff, I definitely want to see it, because just the previews of Wakanda Forever, she looks like a badass, and I can't wait to see more stuff of her. And she's already done it. She's on HBO, so
Right. Right.
go check that out. And by the way, listeners and viewers, we'll have all these this information where you can find all this stuff in our show notes. Don't worry, you can go check it out, and you don't have to remember it. We'll help you out with that here later on. So another thing that I'm shameful of, in a sense, that I don't speak Spanish yet, and I've been working on it for a little bit. But she came into this role. MCU, Marvel hired her on for this role. She only spoke Spanish and her native tongue, and during this
Wow.
time, she learned English. So now she's
Wow.
trilingual, at least as far as I know, maybe more, but she's at least trilingual, and she speaks English now too. So all those interviews that you're starting to see her on, she didn't even speak a lick of English before she came to this role, and now she speaks English. So again, hold my head in shame, and makes me even more motivated to learn Spanish, because, in my opinion, it's so much easier to learn Spanish than it is English. English is a way tougher language to learn, and here I am juggling and don't know Spanish yet. So hat off to her. She's kicking butt, and I'm impressed and
Right.
motivated because of her.
Yeah.
Let's see other things to note. She was nominated for the Ariel Award for La Diosa del Asfalto or Asphalt Goddess. La
La
Diosa.
diosa del asfalto.
Okay, perfect. The Asphalt Goddess. So she already has nominations and she hasn't even hit the major American Hollywood big screen yet. So again, she's just gonna kick butt. And lastly about her is I think this speaks volumes of who she is and what she's doing here. At the San Diego Comic-Con, she told her manager, "I don't know how to explain to you that I feel part of something bigger than a movie. Never in my life had I felt part of something much more important than fiction."
Wow.
So I think she's coming into this role with an attitude of like, or not even an attitude, I think an era of being suppressed so much for being a darker toned native Mexican,
Hmm.
for having that native background and for so long just being suppressed in a sense from being able to really come out and be just this kick-ass actress that she is. And here we are we're going to see her, and I really look forward to that role that she's going to play, and we'll see what happens. So just a little background on her, and then the third and final actor that we're talking about tonight, which you've probably seen a lot more of, it's Tenoch Huerta. Um,
Yeah.
Tenoch Huerta is actually born in January of 1981. So he is 40. Or wait, no, he's 41 now because I am 40. I was born in 81, but in December. So he's 41 now. He began his acting in 2006 with his breakout role in the 2009's movie Sin Nombre, which I
Sin
have, and it's really a crazy role. He plays a gang member, actually a gang leader, in that role, and it's intense. If for us,
Mhm.
our listeners and viewers, if you go watch the Nombre, it's an intense movie, and we'll probably end up doing a show just on that movie alone because it talks a lot about what we want to be talking about on the show of migration and immigration and fleeing these countries south of the border here in America. They're fleeing for their lives and such. So we'll touch upon that a lot more later because I want to stay on subject today. But his father actually enrolled him in acting school, and probably where most people know him from is in America is his breakout role as Felix's brother in Narcos, Mexico. His character is Rafa. Um, and I've seen that as well. And I don't know about you, Primo, but man, he did an outstanding job. He's actually my favorite character in all of Narcos Mexico. It's kind of one of those things where you love him so much, and you're like, wait, this is that he's portraying a really bad person, but you love
Yeah.
that, or that
Oh
you
yeah.
love that character. I mean, he just does such a great job of
Yeah.
just playing that role. And a crazy factor or stuff about that role is that um, he his role. They don't know a lot about the character he was playing, Rafa, and so when they started to
Mhm.
see him acting, they actually started creating more and more for him because he was so good at playing that role. So,
Right.
I mean, he's just such a fantastic actor.
I
Um,
mean, because you just got to think though. I mean, a lot of these, old narcos from Bay, there's no pictures, there is no
Yeah.
autobiography that you can go based on where they can get some tips on how to act like that person.
Yeah.
But based on stories, because that's all they got, and growing up, um, uh, closer to the border, I think he nailed it. Honestly, he
Yeah.
nailed the part because that's exactly who Rafa Caro Quintero really is. And I mean, obviously he's disappeared now, but
Yeah.
that's really who he was. Exactly how Tenoch played him in Narcos Mexico.
Yep.
But it's definitely my most favorite Narcos edition, though. Definitely that Mexico edition.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Which again, we'll probably do a deep dive on that too. We got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline for all our
Yeah.
both Primos Nation. Um, some other stuff is I think that's really cool about Tenoch is he's been very, very outspoken about racism and colorism in Mexican films and in Mexico in general. Um, he has written a book about this, and this is actually kind of what drew him to this, getting this part. Um, and the book is titled, again, we'll have this in the show notes, and I'm going to butcher this one, Orgullo Prieto. So it's ORGULLO.
Orgullo,
Orgullo. Orgullo.
orgullo, pride,
Prieto.
prieto. That's
Prieto. Okay, so
brown.
that,
Oh, dark
and what
brown.
it translates to is brown pride, right?
Right.
Perfect. Perfect.
Absolutely.
And again, like I said, that's what that was a part of the director Ryan Coogler's interest in Huerta for the part in Wakanda Forever, and kind of like what I've read about Ryan Coogler, the director that did not only he did Wakanda Forever, but he did the original Black Panther movie as well. Is that he is looking for people that are already outspoken, that are already doing these major things for their communities, that just is standout and getting them noteworthy attention, so that it's not like they're coming into this role and then they're building the uh, outside persona from the movie out, like they're playing this role in the movie, but then they're having to build this outside persona outside of the movie as their own person, to be active in these types of things. He's grabbing the director's grabbing these people that are already doing huge things for the communities, and like Tenoch standing up and standing out about this colorism that's going on, not only here in America but also in Mexico too, and more so from his book, which I can't wait to read, more about colorism in Mexico, which is a real thing, you know.
Right.
Let's see here. Other stuff. I mean, there's so much about him so far, which I mean is crazy. Another thing is, much like his counterparts, he is Aztecan as well, indigenous Aztecan, or has roots of that. And he too speaks the native tongue as well. And I have
Oh,
notes on
nice.
that, but we've kind of already talked about that a lot. I won't bore our listeners too much on much more of that, but um, I think the underlying piece to these three actors is that they're active in their communities, and they're standing out, and really saying what's on their mind, and kind of coming into acting and saying no more is it acceptable that they play these roles of the help, the this, the that in Mexico, but then
Yeah.
also when they're coming to America, now that they're coming to America, they're playing these roles that is not, again, like I said in the very beginning, not just the help, the drug dealer, the this, the that. Now they are playing these roles as superheroes, or at least we hope. So this is my angle on. We haven't seen the movie yet; it's not out yet. At least we're not
Right.
cool enough yet to go to the uh, preview, the red carpet rollout preview opening night for them. Someday, hopefully, we'll be able to do that and be that cool and that noteworthy, but we aren't yet. So, um, you have these characters coming out, and you know, what are they going to be doing? What is their role? So notoriously in the comic books, Namor, which is played by Tenoch Huerta, I didn't mention that earlier. He's the lead character for this group, this tribe, and previously in the comic books, if you didn't know this, Primo, he was kind of an anti-hero. He was very much
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna take care of my tribe, my peoples of Atlantis first.
Hmm.
And he goes back and forth with scuffles with the tribes of Wakanda and the other MCU characters and such, like the Avengers and whatnot. But it's going to be interesting to see, is he going to be an anti-hero, is he going to be a hero, or is he going to be a villain? you know what's going to
Right. Right.
happen in this movie, we don't know yet. And
Right.
I really hope that he's a hero. If he's an
Right.
anti-hero, that's cool too, because again, that's kind of like, I mean, us in a way, like the kind of a Chicano tradition. I'm taking care of my family first, um,
Right. Right.
my tribe first. Um,
Yeah.
but I really hope he's not a villain. I really hope he's not a
Yeah.
villain. I think that it would definitely uh, harm the Mexican community, the Chicano community as a whole, even
Right.
the Latin community as a whole, if he's portrayed as a villain. So the movie's 3 hours and 10 minutes long. So hopefully they're going to really get into that storyline of Neymar. Usually they do an origin
Right.
story first, but they haven't. So we'll
Right.
see. So
They might be saving it.
what's your thoughts on that, Primo?
I mean, I think this is huge. It's really huge. I think it's really going to open up the door for all Mexican actors throughout Hollywood. We've obviously had Mexican actors throughout Hollywood for the longest time, but never, like you said, in major roles. So I think that if Tenoch Huerta could really kill the part, you got to really think though, because they have been putting out trailers as him and he is a main character to Wakanda Forever.
Right,
So if they're doing that already, I'm thinking they have a plan for him,
right,
and if it can
right,
become and us as the Mexican American community, if we can all help support him and this role, I think that can be huge and just open up doors for everybody else. We'll start seeing many more, Mexican actors in American films. But I think it's really up to us to as a community to kind of support each other, look at things in a very positive way,
yeah,
and really love what these actors are doing and coming to America and taking on these major roles and stuff. But
right,
I'm super excited to watch it. I'm not huge on I was a huge more Batman fan, but to me there
okay,
wasn't like a Marvel or DC. I like whatever came out, and even now, man. I love these movies. They're awesome to watch because we watch them as
for sure.
cartoons, but now they're actual movies. So
Yo,
I think
yo,
it's gonna be huge, man. I can't wait to watch it. To be honest, I love it. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to see what he does on film, because like I said, I loved him in Narcos Mexico, and he killed the part, and there was no doubt in my mind that he's going to kill this part as well.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we can get more, and he does become a hero. Especially like you said, for his tribe, for his family, because that is who we are. That is what we do. Absolutely. I mean, I go work every day. I know you go to work every day to feed yours. I go to work every day to feed mine. And I know
Yeah.
if it came down to it, you're going to step up and protect as much as I would, as much as
100%.
anybody else would that's part of this
100%.
community. So, I mean, it's a huge role. And I kind of I dig the role. It would really, really, like you said, it would really hurt our community if he was to stay as a villain and only as a villain.
Yeah.
It would really suck for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. And just for the viewers and listeners, if you didn't know, and for you even too, Primo, since you're not big into the Marvel comics, which I definitely was growing up, into reading them, collecting them, all that stuff. But that character, Neymar, he is one of the oldest Marvel, or actually one of the oldest superheroes. Like he's next to Superman, oldest
Right.
superheroes. So
Yeah.
kind of adding to fuel to the fire and positivity. We now have a Mexican playing this old role, like this old comic book hero,
Yeah.
anti-hero, and I think that's just so unbelievably cool.
Yeah.
That they took this character, and not only was he a character, old character, but he was the Atlantis king in a sense. And so Atlantis is a made up thing. We don't know if it existed or didn't exist. It's a myth. But now
Right.
Marvel, Stan Lee created this stuff around Atlantis, and then they took that character and they added in the Aztecan Empire or Mayan Empire. I think it's Aztecan Empire that, or Mayan
Yeah, I
Empire.
believe.
Saying one of the two empires. I'm not quite sure yet, but they take
Yeah.
that and from Atlantis and put it into our peoples, because and I think that's huge. I think that's a
Yeah.
noteworthy thing too, that we just have not only a Mexican playing a hero, anti-hero, hopefully not villain, like we said, but also playing
Right.
this old character and reprising it into the MCU, and just blowing it up,
Yeah.
blowing it up on the cinema. But I want to go back to something that you said, support. I think it's
Yeah.
super important that not only our community of Chicanos support him, but then just the Latins in general, because we do have other Latins, or other Mexicans actually in the cinema. We have Diego Luna, and he's actually plays Felix in Narcos Mexico,
Right.
and he is amazing actor. He does so many good
Yeah.
things, and kudos to him. But he is, again, your stereotypical kind of like European looking Mexican actor.
Right.
So, and
Right.
no diss on Diego, because I know it's hard as all get out to just break through as a Mexican actor in general into Hollywood, but it's a little bit
Right.
easier for him because he has that very Spanish looking Mexican look, which is kind of more accepted in the Mexico community and the American Hollywood community. And then you also have Pedro Pascal, and
Yeah.
again, great actor doing great things as the Mandalorian, again in
Yeah.
Star Wars land, and killer. I mean, I love that show. He does so good as that character as a Mandalorian. But again, He's that Spanish looking actor. And so I think,
Yeah.
and that's why I really wanted to talk about this topic tonight, how amazing it
Right.
is. Not only we have Tenoch, but then we have Mabel and also Josue. They're all indigenous Mexican looking, you
Right.
know, they are indigenous, but
Deep.
also they're indigenous looking. Because Diego, I don't know
Right.
his background. I didn't do a deep dive in him, but he might be indigenous as
Right.
well. He doesn't look indigenous. But here we are, three actors that they're bringing to the MCU on this huge stage of Wakanda Forever. Um, basically, should be the biggest blockbuster this year. And guess
Yeah.
what? Three Mexicans playing that role, and indigenous looking Mexicans, indigenous Mexicans playing that role. And I think, like you said, and I just want to piggyback on what you said, this is breakthrough for our community. And we all, as a community, need to go out and support them, not only by watching the movie, maybe even twice, three times, like I might just do because it
Yeah.
seems like it's going to be amazing, but also we
Absolutely.
buy the merch. We need to,
Right.
just blow them up socially. We need to say
Yeah.
how cool this is to have these actors playing these roles, and we all need to dress up like them for Halloween next year. We need to, I mean, just whatever it takes to
Right.
support this community, because that's what this is
Yeah.
all about. And that's what a lot of Dos Primos is about. I think you could agree with me on
Right.
that, Primo.
That's
Um,
right. Yep.
that's really what Dos Primos is going to be building our foundation on, is helping our community out and talking to our community and highlighting in this episode. We're highlighting
Right.
these three Mexican actors that they bring light to our community as Chicanos, as Mexican Americans. You know, um, yeah. What else can we say about it? I mean, we haven't seen the movie yet, so
No,
it's interesting. Oh, go ahead,
I
Primo.
get I get to watch it on a Saturday morning. I think we're
Okay,
all going, me, my mom, and my son, my family, my sister, everybody. So
so
I'm
awesome.
excited. I really am super excited to watch it. I mean, we've been not only, for Bozeman, the guy that used to play, Black Panther,
Yeah,
him passing away, and we're eager to see
yep,
who plays the next Black Panther. But you know what I
yep,
mean?
yep.
Neymar, Tenoch Huerta definitely is a big key here, in my opinion. He's a big
Yeah,
key to opening the big doors for Mexican actors.
yeah.
And so if those Primos Nation, if you guys didn't know, he does actually have an action figure, and I seen it at Target.
Oh, no
So
way.
help support. Yes, I seen it. I should have taken a picture, but I didn't. But I'll go back and double check. But I definitely want to get one for my son.
Dude, it's
He
on.
actually started throwing it. He
Yo.
started throwing a fit, man. He wanted it so bad, but I was like, "No, man, you gotta wait. Let's watch the movie first." So yeah, definitely though. I'm super excited. We'll be watching that on Saturday, and hopefully it's a good movie, man. 'Cause, I mean, I don't have my doubts, but
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
never know. So,
Yeah, yeah, you never know, but, yeah, MCU really hasn't failed me yet, but, yeah, we're going on Thursday night because it's my son's birthday, his 8th birthday,
oh,
Thursday.
happy birthday!
Oh,
Yeah,
yep, happy birthday to Odin, and,
yeah,
we're gonna go on Thursday night, and like I said, we get to go see it a little bit early. I think it's like a 9:30 showing. He doesn't have school on Friday, just for all you guys, you listeners out there. I'm not keeping him up that late and throwing him in school the next day. But yeah, we're gonna go see it, and I really look forward to it. And I didn't know they have an action figure, so it sounds like I need to go to take a trip to Target and grab my son one and wrap it up
right.
as a birthday present too, because I think that'd be cool to give him that gift after we see the movie and be like, "Hey, I got you
Right.
something." Boom, because I have a
Oh,
feeling
that'd be awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
absolutely. I have a feeling that it's gonna be relatable. That character's gonna be so
Yes.
relatable to him being brown,
Right.
and I think, and now, I mean, the floodgates are open for us, Primo. Um, and I think this is a good subject to talk about real quick. Is that I I didn't have a Mexican superhero growing up. Oh, I think I lost my Primo. Hopefully, he'll pop back on real quick. All right, guys, we're back. Sorry about that. Cecil just had a power outage. There,
Yeah.
if you're listening in from Denver, Colorado, you might have had that same instance while maybe you're listening because it's been funky
Rough.
weather. So, but what
Yeah.
we were talking about to kind of get back into that conversation was, my son now having this, huge hero to look up to that is his
Right.
color, his heritage, and all that stuff. And I mean, I don't know about you, Primo, but I can't really recall having any superheroes that I could relate to like that growing up.
No. I
Yeah,
mean, no, not really. I mean, my favorite superhero was Batman, but I
right,
always liked Batman because he didn't really have superpowers. It was all just gadgets and gadgets, you know what I
right.
mean? But I mean, other than that, I can't think of anybody that was brown that I could really look up to and,
Which is
play
interesting.
around like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and for me, one of my favorite Marvel characters, because I did read a lot of Marvel, was Black
Uh-huh.
Panther, and so
Oh, nice.
it was the closest one of the closest ones that I could even relate to. Another one was Thunderbird, and he was
Okay.
a American, but we didn't have these characters built in. Stan Lee didn't create these characters for us brown people. So
Right.
I think it's so huge for our kids and the younger generation that now they finally have this superhero. They finally have this role model to
Yeah.
go in and again, hopefully he's not a villain, and hopefully they can be like, wow, I can relate to him. I can be him. Like he can. I really hope Odin's running around this house, acting
Mhm.
like MR, and being a badass like he's gonna be.
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And like I said, I think, because they are kind of portraying him like a main character, I think they have a big plan for him, man. I think
Yeah,
Marvel's gonna kind of bring, I mean, they have to. I mean, come on.
yeah.
We don't have anybody, you know what I mean?
I agree.
And
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, they
so
have
I
to.
mean,
They have to.
and based on what I read, I mean, it looks like Neymar he's coming in. They took out Atlantis and they brought in Talok, which
Uh
is
huh.
Aztec, and that's his city. That's what he's protecting. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so if they're moving stuff around, rearranging stuff, renaming and
yeah,
rewriting and all kinds of stuff, it's gotta be for a long run, in my opinion.
yeah.
You know, so I think he's gonna be around for a while. I think he's here to stay. Hopefully they just don't switch him out for another Mexican actor because I really do like, you know, I really do like Tenoch Huerta. He really is a good actor.
Killer. He's killer. He's killer. And
Yeah.
again, I look forward to the other two. I look forward to seeing how they come out into these characters and really kill it as well. And again, we're not just getting one killer actor. We're getting three. So
Right.
having three killer Mexican actors from all different backgrounds but similar backgrounds. Now that we gave you a little bit of inside history, like, man, this is just gonna be killer. It's gonna be killer.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for months and months and months ever since I saw the first preview to Wakanda Forever. Not gonna lie, I definitely shed some tears for Boseman. Um,
Right. Right.
it's gonna be a tearjerker. I'm definitely taking
Yeah.
my tissue with me, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's gonna be a tearjerker on many different levels for me personally, because again, the funeral for Black Panther, but then also it's gonna choke. I mean, I'm already kind of getting choked up right now, to be honest. It's really cool and it's going to be unprecedented to have these Mexican actors and playing these major roles, and I for one just can't wait. I'm super stoked. So
yeah, absolutely. Me
but
too.
definitely, this is a part 1 of 2. Where, like we said, I'm going to watch it Thursday night. Shesho, you're watching it on
Saturday morning.
And right. So next week, tune in for the Wednesday show next week, and we will give you our insight about it. We'll tell you all about what we thought, and
absolutely.
We'll review, if you will, on it. So it should be really cool to kind of again see how the character turns out, see how the whole role turns out, and see how the whole movie turns out just in general. I mean, in my eyes already, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10, but we will see. We will see how so anything else you wanna touch up on before we sign off there, Primo?
I got nothing, Primo, man. I'm just super excited, man. I want to go watch it already. Just talking about it pumps me up, man. I want to go. I want to go watch it, man. I'm popcorn ready, baby.
Right on. Well, I think this is a good time to kind of just remind all our viewers, our listeners, if you're viewing us here on YouTube, go down there, click us, like us, ring the bell for us, subscribe to us, all that stuff. If you're listening to us, whatever podcatcher you're connecting and listening to us on, please give us a review if possible, stars, a 5-star review if we're worthy of it. And we really appreciate that support because we are just getting started and we want to keep this rolling. Another thing, and this is a huge ask, if you don't mind, go to our Instagram account, follow us on Dos Primos Productions. Dos Primos Productions on Instagram. We'll have a link below, and go into our link tree, and we do have a link to our Patreon account. If you don't mind, go give us a monthly donation. You can do any of the 3 increments that we have. We appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. That helps us to create this video, this show in general, and keep pumping it out. As you might not know, to produce podcasts, to produce things on YouTube, it does cost money. And it's not a huge cost, but it is money that's coming out of our accounts monthly. But if we can get enough Patreons, it just helps us to pay those bills, and we really, really appreciate that, because I don't know about you, Primo, but I've had a blast doing this, man. So far, so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much fun.
Absolutely, and I think we're gonna have even more fun as time goes on.
We're just
more episodes we make. Absolutely.
So so again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, heart, like everything you can do on the socials and on the podcast catchers and YouTubers stuff. So but I think that's it from us here at Dos Primos, Primo.
That's right.
Yeah, cool. So from me to all our Dos Primos Nation, nos vemos. Deuces.
Nos vemos. Yeah.
I'm learning that new word too. So nos vemos from us. Thank you guys so much for listening to us, and we'll catch you next week. Next Wednesday. Every Wednesday we'll be popping out an episode, and come listen to part 2 of Wakanda Forever. Mexico represents. Nos vemos.
That's right. Right.